I'd been waiting 6 long months for my custom medical equipment to arrive. 6 months of pain management and endless physical therapy. When the delivery truck pulled up around noon, I finally felt relief. But before I could even open my front door, I spotted Karen Wilkins, president of the Oak Ridge Estates HOA, marching across my lawn, clipboard in hand, her face set in that familiar scowl of disapproval. "Excuse me," she called out to the delivery driver. "What exactly do you think you're doing?" I stepped outside. "Hi there, I'm the homeowner." "That package is for me," I explained calmly. Karen positioned herself between us. "I'm Karen Wilkins, president of the Oak Ridge Estates HOA. And we have very strict rules about deliveries. You should have submitted a delivery request form to the board at least 2 weeks in advance. Section 23, Paragraph 4. She tapped her clipboard emphatically. "Karen, this is medical equipment that I've been waiting for months. It's necessary for my recovery," I said, feeling my blood pressure rise. She narrowed her eyes. "Well, if it's so important, you should have followed proper protocols." She turned to the driver. "I'll take care of this package. You can leave it with me as the HOA representative. I'll make sure it gets properly processed." "Absolutely not," I interjected, stepping forward despite the pain. "Karen, this is my medical equipment." The poor delivery driver was clearly out of his depth. He held out his electronic signature pad. Before I could reach for it, Karen snatched it. "As the neighborhood representative, I'm confiscating this package until proper documentation is filed." "We'll keep it at the community center," she announced. "Karen, that's theft. You have no right to take my property." She laughed, a short, dismissive sound. "It's not theft. It's enforcement of community standards. You'll get your package once you've completed the proper paperwork and paid the rush delivery fine of $200. That's when I pulled out my phone. "Karen, I'm calling the police if you don't step aside right now." "Go ahead. My husband plays golf with the police chief. They understand the importance of maintaining neighborhood standards." While I was on the phone with 911, reporting a theft in progress, Karen somehow convinced the flustered delivery driver to place the large package into the trunk of her oversized SUV parked across the street. "You'll get this back once you've learned to respect the rules," she called out her window, slamming the car door shut. She smiled and waved dismissively as she drove away, leaving me standing in my driveway, utterly dumbfounded. 20 minutes later, 2 police cars pulled up. I showed the officers my order confirmation and the delivery tracking. Detective Rodriguez, badge gleaming, took detailed notes. "So, she specifically identified this as medical equipment and took it anyway?" "Yes," I confirmed. She even acknowledged it was medical equipment, but insisted I needed to file paperwork with the HOA first. Detective Rodriguez nodded grimly. "The value of this equipment puts this in grand theft territory, and since it's medical equipment, there could be additional charges." He called dispatch, requesting officers to go to Karen's address immediately. "People like that," he said quietly. "They get drunk on the tiniest bit of power. But taking someone's medical equipment crosses the line from annoying to criminal." An hour later, my doorbell rang. Detective Rodriguez stood there with a smile. Behind him, 2 officers were unloading my medical equipment from a police cruiser. "We recovered your property." Ms. Wilkins wasn't exactly cooperative, but she didn't have much choice once we explained the severity of the situation. "Is she in trouble?" Detective Rodriguez's smile widened. "Oh yes. She's been arrested and is currently being processed at the station. Grand theft of medical equipment is a serious charge. It's a felony that carries up to 3 years in state prison." My phone buzzed with notifications. The HOA board had called an emergency meeting and was already sending out emails about a leadership transition. "Looks like her reign of terror is over," the detective chuckled. My neighbor Ted, the HOA vice president, called soon after. "Is it true? Karen was arrested for stealing your medical stuff." "It's true," I confirmed. "Well, the board just voted unanimously to remove her, effective immediately, and fined her the maximum amount in our bylaws, $5,000. A short while later, I saw Karen being dropped off at her house by her husband. Released on bail, her perfect bob was disheveled, her face blotchy from crying. Her designer outfit was wrinkled. Our eyes met through the window. The look on her face, when she realized her actions had real consequences beyond a petty fine, was one I'll never forget. She hurried inside, away from the curious eyes of neighbors who were suddenly finding reasons to be in their front yards. The judge ultimately sentenced Karen to 18 months of probation, a $7,000 fine, and 200 hours of community service at a medical equipment distribution center for low-income patients, The ultimate, poetic irony. When the sentence was read, Karen's composed facade finally cracked. She let out a wail that echoed through the courtroom, collapsing into her seat. "But I was just enforcing the rules," she cried out. The judge simply shook his head and moved on to the next case, leaving Karen to face the consequences of her actions with the same indifference she had shown to others for so long.